And, I think all parents have that little subconscious fear. It's like in the collective consciousness. It's not a secret. It's just that we don't often look at it. And when we actually begin to peer into that, we begin to realize that this distortion and degradation and forgetfulness of the truth about our energy and especially our sexual energy is the bars of the prison. Because if we really understood who we were, then we wouldn't be able to be controlled, and this false reality wouldn't be created by us, right? And so, again, this is just a rewiring because we've literally never been told these things. Our society does not think that these is the commonly accepted understanding of what sex is. And so, there's a frequency that's coming in, and it's the bring back of the innocence. Bring back of the innocence of our essential selves to know that what is already divine, already perfect. And then we realize that all of these spiritual teachings from all over the world, they carry their own distortions too. Anything that say, you have to work really hard to become enlightened. You have to do these things in this way to be good enough to be in heaven. And so, I don't want to weird anybody out, but I do that sometimes just to land the energy.
Go for it.
Yeah, I feel that all of these pieces of information are coming in because we're talking about the original story from Pleiades. The story is that a long, long time ago, the Draco reptilians were on their rampage around our galaxy trying to take over all these planets and doing these crazy things. And they were actually genetically modified because originally the dragons were very sacred beings, keepers of the portals. They were creator beings of the universe. They're highly advanced and spiritual beings. And so these beings were actually genetically modified, and I know that sounds crazy, but I have to tell you, they were genetically modified to create and dominate situations that are violent, to take over certain planets and people in order to sustain this energy. We could call it AI. So eventually the Draco reptilians came to the Pleiades, and there was a deal that was made. The Pleiades is a very spiritual place, and if the Pleiades were to be taken over, it would be very bad for the galaxy. And so a council came together, and basically what was agreed upon was that there would be genetic material sent from the Pleiades to the Earth, and the Draco reptilians would get to rule the Earth. Now, it's not a bad plan because there were actually secret meetings that were held, and there was a deeper plan even beyond what was shared with the Draco reptilians. And so basically, the Pleiadians knew that it wasn't the right time in the universe to correct the AI because we weren't in the part of the cycle where there was enough cosmic energy. And so they knew that there would be a time when our star systems would enter a higher oscillatory part of the universe where there would be more conscious energy and higher vibrational energy, and this energy would actually support us in overcoming this disease. And so the Pleiadians sent their people to the Earth in this agreement, and they also sent these technologies for us to use in a future moment in time when the cosmos would be aligned for us to overcome this darkness, and that time is now. And so that is why we're all waking up to our starseedhood. We're finding these new tools and technologies and crystals, and we're creating these new things that, anchor light. It's because these cosmic energy and these alignments, they are assisting us in correcting these distortions. And we have to bring that down into the human level. I feel like I'm a bearer of kind of bad news because these frequencies, they bring us to all the places inside of our body where those distortions are. And those distortions are not always the most fun things to look at because, let's put it this way. I know that the word rape actually means the taking by force of something that is most essential and dear to our most vulnerable self. And so when we look at the world, we realize that the humans have been forcefully taken of our ability to create and the knowingness of who we truly are. This is the level of trauma that humanity is facing in our healing. And we have to begin to look at it from this perspective because it brings us into focus, right? It's not that we're trying to hug everyone and we're trying to be all positive and high vibe. We're literally freeing a whole planet of people from planetary sexual enslavement. And I feel that the good news is that we are extraordinary, powerful beings. And that this is actually, all of us literally fought to be here because the level of growth in our own experience of a creator being, the level that we can learn and experience this on this planet is off the chart. This level of soul growth is not really available that often in the cycle of the universes, and so here we all are. And so just the last code that wants to come through before we go into the sound healing, it's kind of a preface. The sounds will just do their own thing. So the way that I understand satanic, it basically just means that it's something that has fallen from a state of complete reverence for creation and life itself. The space of recognition for the complexity and the divinity and the beauty of all of life and all of creation, that sustaining of that state of being, of awareness, of perceiving, that is actually the natural state of all living creatures. And so I would go as far as saying that we live in sort of a watered down satanic reality because what's normal to us humans has now become, entitlement and forgetting to be grateful every single day for what we have. And that appreciation energy is actually what allows us to actually recognize ourselves. Because when we look around in the world and we see beauty and we see creation and we see this living light, we realize that we're a part of it and that's what we are too. And so it's impossible for us to completely recover and restore our true selves without completely recognizing all of the things that are not us inside of our vessel. And that is why these transmissions always come through in this way, is because I just want to share as much medicine as I can with you in the short time that we have. And so with that, I'm gonna just allow the sounds to come through.